creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a weird day. When we went to bed last night, it was supposed to rain all day today, so we went to bed with kind of heavy hearts. Oh, another day of rain. Oh, jeez. We've had a weekend of rain. It has not been fun. Yesterday it was really, really hot. So we were gonna have rain today. I got up this morning. Forecast said clouds. Looked just before I started my podcast. Sunny, 70 degrees. The old adage for Aroostook County stands, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. If you are in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border, in the crown of Maine, and you don't like the weather, wait a minute. It's gonna change, and it is. I hope you guys are having a nice, warm, sunny, balmy summer day wherever you are. We have the windows open here because I just have to. So, yes, I'm inside. No, I don't have fans. It's just the breeze. If you guys are out and about, please enjoy your summer day. Maybe you're lucky enough to be gardening. You got your hands in the dirt. You know the secret. If you put your hands in the dirt, all that stress in your life, that bad mood that you had, all starts lifting. The anxiety starts going away. People like to argue the point, but what I tell everybody is, for 1 week in the summer, if you don't believe it's true, take your shoes off and walk across the grass. Just be outside. Every time you go outside, take your shoes off and get barefoot. And eventually, by the end of the week, you will suddenly notice that what really peeved you when you were in the house, because you're outside, you're getting your sun, you're connecting with the grass, you're touching grass. Reality. You will see that the anxiety is lifting off of your shoulders. Those burdens are lifting off of your shoulders. Maybe you're at the beach midweek. If you are, I am so envious of you. I used to take the kids when they were preteens. Tweens nowadays is what they call them, but back in the day, when I was raising children, they were called preteens. And I used to take them and their friends from school to the beach. I had 15 kids on the beach that I was watching, all at the same time, all by myself. I was a competent person. It was just a thing that we did. All our kids are 18 months apart, so they had all the same friends. So it was a big old group of kids that wanted to go to the beach. So I would take the kids to the beach midweek because there wasn't a lot of people on the beach during the middle of the week. It was just locals, people like us that just kind of strolled down to the beach. And I didn't have to worry about the preteens or your tweens bothering other people. We lived in a tourist community, so on the weekends you had everybody who wasn't working on the beach, and then you had the tourists on the beach, and people were annoyed with children. Well, children live here, hello. And it was just not fun on the weekends. So I did the beaching with the kids during the midweek, and it was just nice. The beach was fairly secluded. The kids could hoot and holler and splash away, and nobody cared, and that was that. And we all had a good time. Then they became teenagers, and they wanted a pool. You know, everybody wants to be like everybody else. They wanted a pool. So the beach lost its charisma for them. When I was a kid, we loved to be at the beach. Even during my teen years, I was at the beach. It was just a thing. But times change, children change, children's attitudes change, and they wanted a pool, so we got the pool, and it just wasn't the same. Having the kids, 15 kids in the pool in the backyard, was not the same as getting them down to the beach, and the lemonade truck would show up, or the ice cream truck would show up, and it was a great time picnicking at the beach. And it's just different when it was the pool in the backyard and the kids were older and everybody was in and out of the house, and it just wasn't, it didn't have the same flair. But I used to take my dog, we had a Boston Terrier at the time, Gussie, and him and I used to grab the towel and we used to stroll down to the beach and just sit on the beach during the midweek and enjoy it. I love listening to the waves crash on the breakers and roll up on the beach, and the smell of the salty air. My great-grandfather had a thing, and I practice it to this day. Don't get freaky about it, guys. But when you go to the ocean, you dip your hand in the ocean and you snuff the salt water. It actually clears out. Not medical advice. It's just something I've done. It's been tradition in my family for as long as the cows come home. Just give it a huff, and it'll clear everything that's in there out. And I miss that. We live 3 hours from the beach right now. We live inland. And when you have a homestead, dirty little secret, ooh, she's exposing homesteading secrets again. When you have a homestead with livestock, you just don't pick up and go anytime you want. So we like to go to the beach in the early spring, midsummer, and then once again in the fall. Last year we didn't get to do it because we were rebuilding the engine to the adventure van, so the adventure van was down, and we didn't hit the springtime venture off to the beach either, to the ocean, because we're still working on the van a little bit, and maybe we'll hit a midsummer, maybe. Who knows? There's a lot of things going on in the world, on the homestead, in life in general. We're building the studio. I've decided that we started the framing on the studio, and I think as soon as the walls are up and the door is in, doesn't matter that nothing else is done. I think I'm heading out to broadcast in the studio because I'm just tired of breaking it down, setting it up. Anyways, lost my train of thought. When you homestead and you have livestock, you have to hire somebody in to take care of your livestock while you're gone. And while I do hire in the farm kids, the 4-H'ers that their parents own a farm, they're growing up on a farm, so they know what they're doing. I do hire them occasionally to take care of my farm babies, because it's not a thing where you call a friend and say, hey, can you go and take care of the animals? Make sure they're in the barn at this time. Make sure they're let out at that time. Make sure they have enough to eat. Oh, and if it's over 80 degrees, you're playing extreme farmer. Make sure you're at the house 5 or 6 times. Things aren't knocked over. Water buckets aren't spilled. Whatever. Make sure they have enough of this, that, and the other thing. The bunnies, the chickens, the turkeys, the dogs, the cats, the whole 9 yards. And it's too much to do. So you just don't go anywhere. We do go to the lakes. You can find me on the lakes in the middle of the week sometimes. Mostly. I don't go to the lakes on the weekend. They're crazy out there. Once again, the lakes have tourists, and they have the summer people that can only get out onto the lake on the weekends. And it's usually hopping out on the lakes during the summer on the weekends. So I avoid all that. And I go midweek where things are much calmer, and you can just kind of enjoy yourself. You can just sit there, watch the little kids play on the beach, and watch the mothers yell at the kids, come on over, have your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you always meet somebody on the beach that you know. So it's a good time. And that's what we do. We go to the lake midweek where there's not a lot of congestion, and you're not going to, attitudes aren't going to flare in the heat. And we hang out on the lake. And we're happy. That's what life is up here. It's being outdoors and being happy. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, let's talk about the great debate that is not going to be live streamed on people's channels with commentary. CNN made the rules. They made the regulations. They posted them. And small channels like us do not want a copyright strike. Don't want my channel taken down. Don't want my channel nuked. And unfortunately, looks like they're playing hardball with it. I mean, even Turning Point, they asked permission. Independent media does not have the permission of CNN to live stream the debate, which would simply be putting their debate onto the screen while you run commentary in real time. They don't want that happening. And they're going to sue the pants off of everybody. There you go. So don't try it. That's what they're telling people. And Turning Point, they specifically asked permission to do this, and we're told no. So they're going, I guess, behind a paywall is what the rumor was. So Turning Point is going to go behind a paywall so they can run commentary on the stream. We have other bigger independent news media moguls that are going to attempt to run the live stream because they're screaming fair use. And it is a fair use issue. And I commend all the big independent media channels that are going to try to buck the system. They've been in contact with Elon Musk. Elon said, go for it. But who knows? Who knows with that? Things change. When a corporation threatens to sue another corporation, things might be taken down. Strikes might be had. YouTube is in compliance and in agreement with CNN. So the YouTube channels will get the strike. You will get the strike if you attempt to pull any shenanigans on YouTube. They're putting stuff, broadcasting simultaneously on X and on the Mean Green Freedom of Speech machine. They're going to broadcast simultaneously over there, the big independent media people, and see what happens. That Mean Green Free Speech machine has not said that they're going either way with this. Nobody knows what's going to happen over there. And yeah, those independent media companies are wealthy enough at this point that they can fight for fair use. And I know that they are asking and they are begging all independent media channels, big and small, to join them and do it anyways. Defy the man. And that's all well and good. But once again, when you are a very small channel and you are doing good things on your channel and you're getting good information out on your channel. Here we did a thing on urban gardening, how to contain a garden and get a yield to put on your table and to can. You can do it. Yes, you can. Even if you live in the city, you can plant your fruits and vegetables in buckets, put it on your balcony, and you too can actually benefit from growing your own garden financially. You'll be buying less at the store, and you might be able to even get enough buckets on your balcony or your back porch, or even in a small section of your garden. Maybe you're a renter, you rent a house, but the landlord said, you ain't tearing up this lawn. You can put all your stuff in buckets and grow a complete garden. People have 80, 90, 100, 150 buckets because their soil is whatever. It just isn't workable for them. And they do bucket planting. And they yield enough to preserve for their personal use. So, you know, I'm doing a series on backyard foraging. What you think is weeds, I call medicine. And we're doing that. And we do off-grid living, and we do questions about homesteading, and we show you what we do here. I don't consider myself to be anybody who teaches anybody anything, but I do tell you what we do on the homestead, what works for us, and maybe if you apply it to your homestead, it'll work for you. Maybe you need to modify what we do a little bit and it works for your homestead. I don't consider myself a teacher. I just have a little extra knowledge, is what I like to call it, about the old ways. And I talk about it here. And I really don't want to see my channel nuked for that. So CNN's pulling copyright. Fox is broadcasting. Fox has permission to simulcast. And people are now saying, well, why don't you stream the Fox? Because we don't know. Because CNN is going after everybody, and YouTube is in compliance with CNN. They're in agreement. And what we are allowed to do is run commentary after the fact, and podcasts are allowed to take 3-minute clips. So you can break the debate down into 3-minute clips and run 3-minute segments at a time on your podcast, provided, with your commentary, provided you give credit for every single clip you use to CNN. You screw it up once and they're coming after you. Like I said, small channels, we just can't have the strikes against the channels. We can't have the lawsuits, because people are saying CNN's threatening to sue people into oblivion if they take that podcast and run it behind a paywall even, and they catch wind of it. So we're just not doing it. There are certain times when you go against the system, and there are certain times when, for the greater benefit, you comply, you fall in line. We're not happy about it here on the homestead, and we've had a lot of discussion about should we buck the system. People don't know about me. I've been bucking the system a long time. I have. It started in high school. The teachers had a strike in my high school. It was my junior year. Come back, had to go to school in the summer, so we all decided, group of us, we were going to impose a strike because they struck. We had to go to school 2 weeks in the summer, and my mother told me, my mother's going to laugh when she hears this. My mama told me, I can participate in the strike provided I didn't get in trouble, because she had to work. So I better not get in trouble. There better be no controversy with me doing participation in the student strike. Wouldn't you know it, my ass was hauled in the principal's office and I had to call my mom. Yeah, I got detention. For 2 friggin' weeks I got detention, and it was just, but no, my mother had to drive 35 minutes to the school to pick me up. And, you know, my mouth was running in the principal's office, and I'll never forget it. The vice principal was Mr. Mannion, and the principal was Mr. Graber, and boy, I was going head to head with Mr. Graber, and Mr. Mannion finally grabbed me, and he's like, go sit in my office, because you're just gonna make his head explode, so go sit in my office. And when my mom came, you know, we all 4 of us had to sit there, and I had some words, and they had some words, and my mother had some words, and man, was I in trouble. And so the decision was they were going to detention me under Mr. Mannion's supervision. And he said to my mother, he's like, listen, I know there's still half a school day left. She's not getting suspended. I sweet talked my way out of that. She's not getting suspended, but he wants to. Mr. Graber wants to suspend her. But we're not going to suspend her, but you need to take her home for the rest of the day before he kills her. I just wouldn't stop. We had rights. I exercised them. Freedom of speech. That's when I learned there was no freedom of speech. There was no authority. It was all tyranny. Even back then. It was all tyranny. There was no, there was no peaceful protesting. I learned early. I learned young. About a lot of things. I saw a lot of crazy things in the world that I was told existed that really didn't exist. So I've been doing this a long time, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and I've been accused of being a conspiracy theorist for the last 25 years of my life. I'm a truth teller, because it turns out everything I thought was a conspiracy theory was actually the truth. So anyways, long story short, we're not going to buck the system, because I do like my YouTube channel. And because I'm not getting guarantees anywhere else, whether it's on X at Coffee with Kerri or on the mean green freedom of speech machine over there. Begins with R, rhymes with crumble. I'm not getting no guarantees or protection over there. So we are going to do, we're going to play the fair way, because the way that that's not the fair way, because there is a big fight for fair use, and we all should be fighting that fight. But I have to take a back seat, because my channel is too small. My podcast is too small, and that's that. And I don't like it, but it's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play by the CNN rules. We're not gonna poach the Fox broadcast either, because it's all under probably the same algorithm. I don't know. And they'll discover you, and I can't do anything sneaky or anything like that, because quite frankly, I get caught every single freaking time. Just the way it is. All my friends would sneak out at night. I'd get caught. I'd get caught in the attempt. I wasn't good at. I'm not good at telling lies. And I'm not good at being sneaky. And those are just 2 of my lovely traits and qualities that I have. And it's just the way it is. So I'm going to play ball. I'm going to play by the rules as far as the CNN thing goes. And, I'm sad, because it is the greatest debate in our history. We live in interesting times. And it is the first time that a sitting president is going to debate a former president for the future presidency, and we will not be able to broadcast it, but we will do it after the fact, because CNN is claiming their proprietary rights, and like everything else, it's Banana Republic, and they're gonna chop and channel and clip, and they're gonna have time delays, and I really do wish, with all the shenanigans going on, President Trump offered to take a drug test, and I really do wish that the Biden administration had taken him up on that offer to be drug tested before the debate, because I really want to know what kind of goofballs Joe Biden is on, because I want some on those days that I got that little bit of brain fog. Whatever they given him could benefit a lot of people, couldn't it? If you trust, those kind of corporations. But I would really like to know what he's hopped up on. They have him in Camp David for the week until the debate, because they're just adjusting his sleep schedule and adjusting his alleged medical care schedule. Take the dang drug test. I just want to know what the hell, allegedly, what kind of goofballs that man is on. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, speaking of goofballs, I have decided, because it blew everybody's mind, that I read the list of senators that want to send your daughters through a draft to the war. And they are Senator Jack Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island. Senator Jean Shaheen, Democrat, New Hampshire. Senator Kirsten E. Gillibrand, Democrat, New York. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, Connecticut. Senator Mazie K. Hirano, Democrat, Hawaii. Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat, Virginia. Our own Angus King, Senator Angus King, Independent, Maine. Senator Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts. Senator Gary C. Peters, Democrat, Michigan. Senator Joe Manchin III, Democrat, West Virginia. Senator Tammy Duckworth, Democrat, Illinois. Senator Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada. And pulling up the rear is Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, those are the names of the sluts for war that want to send your daughters via the draft into World War III. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.